Today I'm going to show you guys how to upgrade your CO2 diffuser into our new Pro Inline CO2 diffuser. So in this UNS 60U, I'm running a Delta 90 canister filter, and this is what it looks like. It has 1/2-inch tubing, and while I'm at it, I'm going to upgrade to our Pro tubing, which is going to be very easy to install because it's a little bit more flexible. And for the Delta 90, 60, and 30, you're going to want to get the 12 mil 1/2-inch inline diffuser. This will fit onto the tubing. I'm going to show you guys how to replace the inside diffusion disc with a replacement. It's always good to have one that's clean and one that's being in use. In order to remove the disc, which is very hard to see, here I'll just unscrew this. This is removable if you would like. The disc is inside, and that's where the CO2 will diffuse. These parts are all removable so that you can clean it. Now looking at this part, what you're going to do is remove it by hand, and this is going to be a really crucial part because you do not want to lose this check valve right here. What this does is prevent water from flowing into your CO2 regulator, and it consists of a spring and a little silicone nub. You're going to remove it carefully and set it aside. You're going to take an Allen key, slot it in, lefty-loosey to remove. Be careful not to lose the O-ring that's seated inside in between the disc and the body itself. Usually after some use, this is going to be brown or green with algae buildup or detritus or anything that runs through your canister filter. What you can do with this is remove it, clean it, or replace it with a new disc. Now that the disc is clean, you're going to seat it back inside. Make sure the O-ring is 100% seated. That's going to form the seal so that water doesn't leak out and flood your floors. And the easier way to do this is to actually seat the O-ring in here. The replacement does come with a new O-ring. Once it's like that, you're going to make sure it sits flush and screw it back in. Hand tighten it, and once you can't tighten it anymore, screw it back in. Make sure it's tight. Now make sure the spring goes in first along with the silicone nub. Make sure it's seated. Cap it off. Make sure everything's just tightened. Now this inline diffuser is ready to rock and roll. If you're upgrading your existing CO2 diffusion setup, you want to make sure that your CO2 regulator is completely shut off. So I'm just going to unplug our mini regulator to make sure there's no pressure when you're cutting the tube. And then also I'm going to close off the valves on the Delta 90, make sure it's shut, and then unplug it. This way, when you remove the tubing down here, you're not going to have a flood in your house. In order for me to upgrade the tubing, I'm going to have to take the piping off, the aquarial inflow and outflow. I've removed the brackets from the lily pipes, and now I'm going to go down to remove the tubing from the canister filter itself. And what you're going to want to do is cover this while you're unscrewing. So in case there's any extra spillage from the water pressure that's built up in the canister, you'll be fine and you're not dripping everywhere. With the valves closed, you're not going to cause a flood. Now that both filter tubings are free, you can gently lift all of it out of the tank and into a bucket so that you're not spilling water everywhere. The good thing about this is so that you don't accidentally start siphoning water completely out of your tank while you're doing this and it causes a flood. And now all I'm going to do is remove the tubing. And then once the tubing is free, you can unscrew the tubing and free up the valves. For the Delta 90 and the 120, it doesn't matter which valve is in or out. They both are the same size, so you can use them interchangeably. And what you're going to do now is you can slot in our new Pro tubing. you can see that it's slightly different, and I'll show you. This tubing that comes with the Delta filter is a little bit more rigid, while this one is a lot more flexible. And this makes it easier for me to add on accessories and whatnot into my canister filter. So now I'm going to take a little section of my tubing. I'm going to do a straight cut. You can use pipe cutters. I can now slot in my inline diffuser this way. So you want to make sure all the fittings are tight so the tubing doesn't pop off when there's pressure in the system. Just a little tip here, the correct way to install this inline CO2 diffuser is that this has to be installed onto the outflow. Don't install it onto the inflow, because if CO2 gets into your canister filter, air bubbles will build up and it's going to cause some major problems for the motor inside the canister filter. So you want this going to the outflow so that CO2 is going to be pumping out with the water. Now, my CO2 tubing will come from the regulator itself, which is already connected to canister, CO2 canister. And critical information here is to make sure your CO2 is completely shut off so that you're not running pressure right now, just for your own safety. Now I'm just going to tighten up this connection right here. The outflow has the inline CO2 diffuser connected to it, and it's standing straight up. That's what you want. Otherwise, CO2 dispersion would be pretty restricted, along with kinks in the system like so. You want it to be taut like this, going straight up and out from the outflow. Now that everything's ready to go, I can safely plug in my canister filter. All the valves are open on the filter. The reason for the valves being closed when you remove the tubing is because you don't want to lose any of the water that's already built up inside the canister filter. There's no air pockets or anything like that. So you want to maintain the canister filter filled with water. And now that the canister filter is running, you can safely plug your CO2 setup back in, and you can see the bubble counter going off. And the CO2 will travel into CO2 tubing, into the diffuser, pump out through the outflow. One last thing to note is if you really want to monitor your CO2 instead of looking inside the tank, be sure to check out our drop checkers. We have the HD and the SD version, which is one is a hang-on and one is a suction. And that way you can visually monitor your CO2 within the aquarium that way. But if you want to keep it minimal like this with the inline diffuser and everything underneath your cabinet, then I would say go for it. This is a really cool upgrade. And that is it. I hope you guys found this tutorial useful. Like, subscribe, comment. Let us know what other product you would like us to show how to install on. See you guys on the next one.